hopefully we won't have any drop frames after this. But yeah, welcome back, everybody that's just tuning in. Sorry, we kind of took out a small chunk of the game right there, but
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah, you didn't really
Western
miss
Washington,
too much.
you saw them dominate on that eco round. They're forced by. They won it with Tech Nines, and now it's being reversed. Fuzz and Zooch chiming in with the pistols. Duper at least getting a kill. You need to win this aim battle right now, Ark. Unable to find the kill as Zooch falls back into tunnel, so still a man advantage for Appalachian State, but no armor to play with and just pistols. This is still going to be a hard round to fight back from, especially as they gain control of A site and they're going to have to go for this retake. Amstrom trying to chime in from long. He's a little late to the party, though, and yeah, Zooch already pushed up here from CT, so he's trying to make this happen fast. Not going to see the terrorist towards Cap, but he's still able to make it. Silently pushing up, DX unaware of his position. Rice is only with a scout able to pull out his Tech 9 and finish him off, so DX, even though he let one of the CTs come up from ramp, he's still able to get a double kill, and Rice is thankfully had his little handy Tech 9 to finish that round up, and yeah, that was looking a little bit scary. The USP kill, I believe, came out at Zooch, and that is never a good sign when you're dying to the default weapons.
No, you're I'm sorry. Yeah, you're completely right. But overall, you're playing with some really good shooters right there. And once again, Riz with a good scout play that previous round, and now going to be looking to do the same over here, back a spawn. But meanwhile, on long A outside of doors, DXN, LVMB. Drop nerds. I'm gonna spell that name out all the time now, completely. Creating a really rough scenario for Appalachian State defensively. They're down to pistols on Nico and just guns and rifles, and not really much that you could do. They're trying to catch maybe somebody here, but as you see, just kind of getting in the way of bullet spray. Just get out of the crossfire, man. Don't even mess with them right now. Just call this around. Hopefully we're going to be coming up here in just a second. For those that are tuning in, we're still in our first best of one right now between Western Washington and Appalachian State. Explosive Man drops. That's 13 now for Western Washington. They're 3 away from potentially winning this best of one and securing most likely a really good seed for them, obviously having an amazing season. Appalachian State looking to play the spoiler role. They're not out. And as we always talk about, there's this weird thing that happens in the CSL where teams all of a sudden just start pulling, rabbits out of hats.
Looking for this aim battle. And Rice is going at it. He does get the leg shot. Actually, Zooch gets legged. So straight through the door, takes a little damage. And while Metal Door's thanking him, this was a year ago, he'd be dead. Rice is finally finishing up his target. I don't know why he would re-peak with such low HP, but
now Amscrum's coming over here. I was like, what are you, like, don't get anywhere near that area. He actually got hit. No, Amscrum gets him back. He got legged.
Wow. He got legged, gets the trade. DX incredibly confused by that. The one-way smoke on Xbox makes it a little curious when you're from his position, wondering exactly how you died, and, well, looks like they're still going to get the man advantage. Duper finding a kill. Micmac just trying to find this kill on Explosive Man. Going to cause a rotate as well. Explosive soloed at 23, and they're both going to line up on site, so he's pulled a whole rotate. They looked really good to go towards A. Yeah, Ark, he's going to start to favor towards mid. Try a poke and prod, see if the CTs are going to make any aggressive plays, and yeah, this would be the perfect time to go towards A. Fuzz in a terrible position, has to fall back towards sight, but he's going to now get spotted. Nice crouch scope there by Fuzz onto Rices. So fast reactions, definitely in a precarious situation, and now Amstrom has to hit the shot, but Micmac gets the better of him, and Micmac going to push out mid.
Oh,
good communications. Wow. Fuzz just barely getting it in time. He's going to turn his back towards the last terrorist. That grenade will give his position away. Still looking towards long. Maybe didn't hear it. Didn't know whose nade that was, so Ark now making his way back towards long sight. No time on the clock. Just going to save this AK-47. That'll be a first round, actually, for Appalachian State since the pistol.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Definitely that round, the MVP goes to Fuzz. Watching on B side, Micmac sprayed the hell out of the 2 lower CTs. And if it wasn't for Fuzz knocking basically everybody down, that could have been another easy round for Western Washington. But Here we go. Once again, we have some op battles mid, but only that's a one-man battle. Rice is by himself, hopping through the smoke, trying to hope he could get somebody. Meanwhile, split up for Western Washington across the board, just looking to see if they can find any picks anywhere. But for the most part, both teams playing very passive, nobody rushing through too hard. We might have some action over here on B site. Explosive man. See ya.
He had a rifle too. Interesting that he favored the Deagle in that situation. Just gets his head ripped straight off, and well, we've been seeing these B picks come in favor of Washington a lot. And yeah, McMac's going to be able to drop Amscrum down to 5 HP, 3 HP rather. That Molotov might finish him off. It's actually not going to make it. Am just getting completely wallbanged. He can't wallbang through the center of the box, unfortunately, so can't even finish off the 3 HP remaining on him. But yeah, we're just seeing aim battles being won. Amscrum finally gonna give a little bit of life, but he's gonna actually, Zooch, gonna be able to hear this cat boost, so they're gonna be aware of what they're trying to do. It's up to Fuzz to start to land these shots. Flash will stall them a little bit. Bomb being tossed back. Rysis really wants to go for this entry. Perfect flash onto Fuzz. Gets his head ripped off by Rysis, and yeah, it's gonna just be a complete A domination. Not much you can do about that. You really got to play a little more passive if you want to avoid a pop flash, but like that.
Well, down to a 2v4 scenario. Obviously, you want to make some plays happen, but for the moment, it looks like Zooch and Amsterdam are just going to save their guns. Maybe get some extra frags if they possibly can. But Western Washington, with already a lot of money in the bank, even some more going to come to them after this round. Going to be really hard, I feel like, to try to take them or outgun them here in these final rounds if they have the ability to full buy, you know, snipers and rifles. Just too much power. By the way, since we kind of dropped the stream at halftime, for those that are looking to update on the scoreboard right now, 28 frags for Rices. He's been the leading man, dropping nerds. 23 for Duper, 15 for Micmac, and 13 and 8 from our two remaining players on Western Washington. I expected it to be a little bit more even, but Rice is just hitting all of his shots, and a lot of favoritism towards mid from these players, and as well op battles. That's kind of causing this scenario to happen over and over again. Oh man.
Yeah, I would have liked them to see their more passive play on CT side. It seems as if they're always going for these engagements early round, and it seems like they're always getting the worst end of it. So I was actually expecting them to play passive, considering they have a Deagle and a Scout. But yeah, Explosive Man just trying to find something in the tunnel. But yeah, Duper gets the pick here towards long, and that's going to open up the A site for business. They're going to be able to just smoke cross, and this should be over. But Zooch chiming in from CT. They're just taking these aim battles. No smokes, no problem. DX chiming in as well from middle, so this is going to be a perfect crossfire. Explosive Man, last man in tunnel. He should be aware of this. Yeah, Rices just rock steady on lower tunnel, so that'll be 15 rounds, match point for Western Washington, and yeah, looking like a cleanup. It's I think if Appalachian State played a little more of a passive role, I don't know if they have that on their team, if they have a default that isn't so aggressive towards long and middle. I could have saw a much closer score line because they're not bad aimers by any means.
One more! Yeah, he's up to 30. He's up to 30.
That looked timed as well. I don't think that was a reaction shot.
No.
Most of the time you can't react to doors, so you have to shoot at well, it used to be 157, so now it's at 152. And you can usually land the shot, especially if they have that CT spawn, or the close mid spawn. You can get that shot about half the time, so well played by Rices, and yeah, they're just cleaning up, looking to end this Amstrum with the R8. We know exactly how good this gun used to be. No longer, well, it's now considered the worst pistol in the game, unfortunately. RIP my stat track revolver fade sitting in my inventory that never gets used. Unboxed that on Christmas, and now it's just a sad little gun. But regardless, that'll be 16-8. 16-7 rather, in favor of Western Washington. Appalachian put up a good fight, but in the end, the just brute force and outright aim from Western Washington. Rices with 31 kills, Duper with 28, across the board, everyone performing, and yeah, it actually was quite a bit closer in my opinion. There was a lot of close pistol rounds and force buys. Mave came down to Western Washington disrespecting a little in a sense that they're just willing to take these aim battles, but at the end of the day, if your opponents are going to take those aim battles
I
and
mean,
you know you can win them, you
you're
go
a
for it.
shooter.
So
Well,
not disrespect in that sense, but more I know I'm going to win, so I'm going to take this aim battle. And well, the skill coming out on top, Western Washington now 12-1. Definitely a favorite to make it through to playoffs. It's looking pretty good for them. I think they have one more game, and that'll pretty much solidify their spot. And yeah, it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting to see who ends up making it. Who's going to be the cream of the crop at the end of this week?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was gonna say just like, I mean, what are shooters supposed to do, man? They shoot. Like, he can shoot. Duper, he can shoot. Micmac, on certain occasions he showed that he could shoot as well, and all of them, rotating through rifles and ops and showing us a multiple facet of just talent. Honestly, Appalachian State, I don't think they played really bad for the talent and the skill group that they have, and they were adjusting fairly well on the fly and sort of, making up strats to try to counter and position themselves better. But I think right here is just kind of a general picture of split of talent and a bit of a skill gap between both teams. With training, with practice, I think they could maybe make some of that back if they could take more of those aim battles and end up winning. Because as you mentioned, they were confident in taking some of these aim battles and slow peaks and just scenarios where it kind of put them in weird scenarios. But anyways, great game from Western Washington. To sort of correct on that as well, Western Washington, that was their final game of the season, so they are now officially 12-1 through 14 weeks of play. Top of their division currently, but could be tied, as you mentioned, that explanation earlier, with Toronto and Western Ontario, depending on how they do tonight as well. Meanwhile, we have a second match coming. That's going to be UC Berkeley versus Miami, Ohio. 7-5 versus 4-7. UC Berkeley going to be looking to clinch a playoff spot. Meanwhile, Miami, Ohio will look to knock them down a spot. But I will be parting ways. We'll have William What's Wrong join on in. Hopefully we'll have some good news from California land over in UCLA. And we'll be back with our second game, guys, shortly. Hang tight. More Collegiate CSGO coming up.
Peace.
Long day, but we won't back down. One thing playing on our minds. Long wait, but we won't give up now. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. We are the champions of the night. We are the champions of the night. Yeah. We are the fighting type, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night. Champions of the night. Can't tell if we're dreaming now. We watch as the fire falls down. One thing playing on our minds. Time stops and we don't make a sound. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. I'm ready to love. We're the champions of the night. I'm ready to champions of the night.
Biting time that you don't own. You leave me waiting all alone. Breaking words you said in fear. Promises that felt like tears. And when I'm waiting all alone, I need you to take me home. Promises like broken bones. I've been holding on to you. And when I'm waiting all alone, I need you to take me home. Promises like broken bones. Promises don't mean a thing. And when I'm waiting all alone, I need you to take me home. Promises like broken bones. I've been holding on to you. And when I'm waiting all alone, I need you to take me home. Promises like broken bones. I've been holding on to
planting the bomb. Smoke! Bomb has been planted.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Collegiate Star League Bad News Bears, and we're now talking about UC Berkeley. We do not have a second match for you tonight, unfortunately, due to some scheduling issues. Apparently, we unfortunately will not be able to show UCB versus Miami, Ohio. Hopefully it's one of those things we can mend and postpone to a future day, say like Wednesday evening. But for the time being, that is going to do it for us tonight. So hopefully you enjoyed that first match between Western Washington and Appalachian State. I am Cheesehead Logic. Joining me, of course, was Joey J. Zook. Any final words, man, on that first match especially?
Yeah, no, it was kind of just Western Washington closing out their advantage, right? They started with such a strong lead, so definitely put Appalachian State on the radar for me. I think if they can get their team synergy figured out instead of trying to just take aim battles, I think they could actually go really far, especially next season. So really cool to see that from them. Like we said, guys, we will be back Wednesday, I believe, with our last games, right, for Week 14?
Yep, last game is Week 14.
Awesome.
Then we're going to be off for a week for break, and then it's going to be playoffs. Right.
That's it, guys. So, yeah, be sure just to stay tuned. Let your friends know. Hit that follow button. We have the VODs going up on YouTube at C Star League, as well as we have a Facebook page, Collegiate Star League as well. So go ahead and follow us there. You can follow me on Twitter at JZilk, and we will be back on Wednesday. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you then.
Take it easy. Have a good night.